Hi everyone, it's Mitch with the Puck Dawgz here on Thursday, December 19th, 2019. We're 6 days away from Christmas. Got some interesting things that happen at this time of year. We have some dead air days, and it happens in NHL. NBA does not do it. College basketball does it. So it's funny because we go from like some of the busiest days of the year around Thanksgiving to some of the deadest days of the year following that. But it's okay. You know, we always seem to find stuff to talk about and stuff to do. There's college football bowl games that go on during that time. We have the NBA schedule on Christmas, and then I think the NHL takes about 4 or 5
Boxing
days
Day.
off.
Yeah. I think it's Boxing Day they come back.
Boxing
Day?
so.
27th.
Yeah, I think it's after that.
After
27th.
Boxing.
Yeah, so they take a few days off. They take, what, from the 23rd, Chris?
The last day of games is the 23rd, and then they pick it back up on the 27th.
Yeah, so they take like a mini break. They do it every year, and it, by the Saturday night, it's hockey night in Canada, so they have to play, right? So
Gotta play.
it's mandatory.
Oh yeah.
But, thanks everyone for joining us. Of course, if you've never done so before, be sure to check out pickdawgz.com. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Less than 50% of the people that watch our show subscribe to our channel. It's crazy. But you can sign up for notifications when you subscribe to our channel, or sign up for no notifications. But having that subscriber number on there, it helps us a ton. The other day, it actually didn't help us a ton, but it hurt us a ton. But that's okay. I think we lost a little ground on our competitors that day, because I've been tracking our month-over-month traffic versus our competitors, and we lost a little ground on them because of that. But it's nothing that we can't smooth over the course of the next few weeks. So I'm excited, to be up and running, and I tell you, like I said, yesterday after being down, more grateful than anything else, and I will probably, before the end of the year, explain to everyone, probably on Christmas, explain, just how grateful I am to have this website and to be back up and running, because I know that a lot of people out there, well, not a lot of people, there's some people that aren't very happy about it. And, you can file that one in the tough shit department, The people in this industry, they're not, whether I've worked with them in the past or not, they're not victims. When I come in here and start, taking names like I always have, they're not victims. They're my competition, and I play to win. So I'm not going to apologize for it. Anyways, speaking of NHL, let's get to this card. We got a big card, right? Thursday card is always a big one.
10 games.
10 games. Flyers, Buffalo, Chris. What do you think? We got the Flyers minus 135, Buffalo plus 115. Flyers down from minus 148 here, so some money coming in here on Buffalo. Looks like goalie change possible.
It's possible. I haven't seen anything confirmed just yet, but that's not going to sway me from Philadelphia here. Buffalo continues to be inconsistent on the road. They've dropped 40 of their last 55 road games dating back to last season, and Philly's won 5 of the last 7 against Buffalo, and each of the last 5 in Philadelphia. I like Philly in regulation here at even money. I also like them minus 1.5.
So you're not concerned that the line is only plus 115 for Buffalo, even though they're 6-9-4 on the road and the Flyers are 11-2 at home? No concern there at all.
I made more money than I've lost betting against the Sabres on the road. So.
All right, how about you, Rod?
I like Buffalo's 0-5, last 5 in Philadelphia. But if you look at the last 10 between the last 10, the way both teams are playing, Buffalo's 5-2-3 the last 10, and the Flyers are only 6-4 the last 10. So both teams are playing pretty good hockey. So, but for me, it's the Flyers. I got to take the Flyers on the money line. I think it's a close game. I think this is a 1-goal game here. I think Buffalo's going to give them a fight today. I don't think the Flyers are winning by 3. That's for sure.
Someone here is asking me to email with them. My email is mitch@pickdawgz.com. If you email me, if it's something I can help you with, I'll help you. If you're asking for picks or advice, it's probably not going to happen for you. Anyways, we got the Kings and the Blue Jackets. Rod, Kings plus 125 on the road. They have not been a great road team. But the Blue Jackets, they're a coin flip at home these days. 9-8-1, 6-12 on the puck line, so certainly not doing anything dominating as bad as the Kings have been on the road. 10-9 on the puck line, plus $1.25 here on Quick, who Chris is pretty down on this season. But,
I have my Quick jersey coming in the mail. Just leave me alone.
Both teams have won their last 2 games, so they're both on playing pretty good hockey. But for me, that line looks funky. Why are the Kings only plus 125? I think they should be up more like a plus 140, 150. I'm going to take Columbus on the money line here. I think Columbus at home will get another win. Someone's going to keep their streak going.
Chris, any opinion?
Yeah, for me, I'm on the other side. I like actually the Kings at plus money here. You know what? As much as I've ragged on the Kings, their first 4 games, the 6-game road trip, they've picked up 7 of a possible 8 points. They're starting to maybe show some signs of life on the road. I'm still not a believer in Columbus. I'll take a shot at plus money with the Kings here, plus 125.
The thing that got me off the Kings was this is their 9th game in 10 nights. That's a lot of hockey. This will be their 9th game in 10 nights of hockey. Or 11. It's either 9 games in 11 nights. They played a lot of hockey in the last little bit. And on the back end of the road trip, I'll take Columbus.
I'm going to go to college hoops. UC Riverside up against Northern Arizona. I did a video pick on this game, so you can check out more detail on it over on our YouTube channel. But you guys know I love inverse line movement. This line opened at 7. It's down to 4.5 with 28% of the public on Northern Arizona. I don't even need to look at anything else because I had Northern Arizona before I even got to that point, before this inverse line movement even happened. Maybe my video had something to do with it. Totally kidding. I've talked to other cappers, throughout the years. I know all the guys out there. Most of the reputable guys I know personally, and I've heard guys actually say that they think that they move lines, and it's like, no, you don't. I like Northern Arizona though. It's like if I didn't like them before, which I already did anyway, the inverse line movement makes me like them even more. The other one that I was looking at least to start the show off, was the who was I talking about? We got Duke against Wofford. This is an interesting one. I gave out Wofford in the video, and I'm still kind of leaning that way, coming off of the North Carolina win. I don't know. You got to figure that Coach K is going to give his team the old "they beat Carolina" speech before this one, so I'm a little bit more leery of that than I was. But I do kind of like the over here at 145.5. I think that Wofford, in order to beat Duke, is going to have to throw it up from the outside, and I don't think they're going to have a lot of answers on the inside. So I could see Duke running the court, playing fast, and going at it with that approach. I think when they didn't go at it fast against Stephen F., that's when they lost. Against these lesser teams, you got to just take it to the hole. Go fast and take it to the hole. Beat them up on the inside where you can. I'm going to take over 145.5 and Duke Wofford. You can watch my video on this one over on YouTube. I did tons of videos on YouTube. I like I said, people complaining about the competition, that I've put forth, but it's like, I don't think you can complain about competition unless you put forth maximum effort. I think if you put forth maximum effort, that's one thing. If you sit on your ass and say, this guy's competing with me, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Anyway,
there's only complaints when they're worried.
It's true. It's true. I think in just we launched the website on October 4th, and I think we've made a statement already. That it's like that. Either be with us or be gone. And we did it before with with the other set with Sports Chat. People kind of just ignored me when I first came on the scene. and that quickly changed. And I think this is actually going to be, for if you're on the other side of it, it's going to be a lot worse. It's a lot worse because I know a lot more now than I did then. And I also, this is the first time over the last 12 years where I haven't, I'd say it's the first time in the last 9 years that I haven't had to worry about conflicts of interest or anything like that, or because at Sports Chat I always had all of these ideas, like the idea to send out the picks by email, that to let people know, hey, we've updated the picks, here they are in your email box. You can click on these games that you're interested in. It'll take you right to the game. You don't have to dig through the site. You don't have to, oh man, I forgot to check the site. Here's a reminder. Here they are. I only care about NFL. Great. You're not going to hear about all the other games. Here's the NFL. Next year, the NFL will come right to you again. You don't have to worry about getting offers for Costco or something, in between, right? And it's like, who wants that crap? Nobody does. Costco sent me, I have to say, Costco, I love Costco. They sent me 6 emails yesterday. 6. It's like either I'm going or I'm not going. You can send 10 emails. Unless it says here's a free $200 to go shopping. I don't care what your email says. And at a certain point, now I've unsubscribed to all their emails. So I'm sure I wasn't the only one. But enough is enough. Speaking of enough, any reason the Bruins are minus 182 against the Islanders here, Chris? I mean, that's a big number.
Yeah. I'm probably just going to watch this game, but if I had to pick a side, I'm going to go with Boston in regulation. I considered the Islanders, given that Boston's lost 6 of 7. But New York still had their stumbles on the road, and Boston's won 29 the last 39 against the Islanders. And I just think Boston needs a statement win to sort of show that they're better than what they've done recently. So I'll side with Boston in regulation.
I'm not taking Boston at that number. Not going to touch them with a 10-foot pole, and they haven't been playing good at all. So their last 10 games do not look good. So I'll take the Islanders here. Give me the Islanders. I also like the under here. I don't see a whole lot of goals in Boston.
So I got a question here from Ziggy Balls. Are you going to do NFL videos? Yeah, I am going to do NFL videos. I'm going to start posting those today. I'm going to do at least the Saturday games today. But this is what I found. This week I'm just doing it kind of like as a test. It seems that the day that I post the videos, the NFL videos, they get a few hundred views, and then they do absolutely nothing after that. Meanwhile, some of the videos that when I post them closer to the game, a little bit more, people are more interested in them then, and they seem to get a lot more views then. So I did the 2 college football games. That's why my computer is blowing air right now. And I loaded them up into my editing software, and I was editing before the show came on. That's where a couple minutes late. So I have the 2 college football games. They should be up in a few hours. I go play golf after this, but I'm going to do it when I come back from playing golf, and then I'm going to do at least the Saturday NFL games, and if not, the Sunday NFL games, and then the Saturday. There's 6 college football for Saturday. I'll probably do the college football and the NFL for Saturday, and then I'll decide when I'm going to do, the rest of the NFL. But there'll be videos. I do videos for all of them. I'm trying to do as many videos as I can. So I would rather concentrate on the games that are tomorrow, and even if it's the Montana State game, against I don't know who the hell they're even playing. Montana State against Cal State Bakersfield Roadrunners game that I did a video on. I'd rather do that people feel are relevant than anything else. If you have your own picks, so like this guy, it's not going over. It's not going. You can post it in the Facebook group. That's what it's there for. But our show is not your show for as far as to post your picks. That's for sure, and it's not welcome here. People are asking for my picks. I'm giving them out. It's like if you want to post your picks, you can do your own live show. I highly encourage you to do that. or video pics, which is the way that I started doing it, or post them in our Facebook group. We give you a place to do it. But I mean, if you want to sit here and criticize my picks before the game even starts, go somewhere else. Anyways, so Chris, who did you take in that one? Islanders, Bruins? I don't have it written down. Rod's got Islanders.
Bruins regulation.
Bruins and reg. I don't see any value there. All right, Lightning versus Stars. Two more good teams with a big line, fairly big line for this type of game. Lightning minus 160 here. Man, the odds makers, they've really been giving the Lightning some big numbers this season up against the Stars. Rod, what are you thinking?
The Stars are 0-5 in their last 5 in Tampa.
When's the last time they played?
I'd have when the last time they played in Tampa.
Yep.
February this past year.
Of last year.
Well, last season. So that's
yeah.
First meeting of the year in Tampa. Then
that's why I take those with a grain of salt. But anyways,
Dallas, the last 10 is 4-4-2, I believe. Their last 10. Tampa's been a little better than that. For me, I like the over in this game. I think we're going to see some goals. And for value, I think you should take Dallas just because. But Tampa's playing a little better. I think Tampa's going to go on a run. They scare me. So for me, the best bet of this, I'm taking the over. And then I'll sit back and wins.
How about you, Chris?
Yeah, I'm on Dallas as well. I mean, Tampa continues to get these steeper, more heavy prices, and they just don't win at them consistently enough to warrant making maybe even a regulation or a puck line play. Dallas has been playing too good to be plus 140 here. I like Dallas.
Yeah, the line makers are pretending this is Tampa from last year. Well,
yeah,
it's not.
Got Princeton taking on Hofstra. This is an interesting game because Princeton is 3-7 and they're 2.5-point favorites in this one against a Hofstra team that's 7-3. Princeton's won their last 2 games against Fairleigh Dickinson and Iona. The Iona game went to overtime. Princeton was also favored in both of those games, despite the poor record. Meanwhile, Hofstra win over Stony Brook last time out. Chris's pick yesterday against Virginia, who covered, and lost to St. Bonnie's. Lost very badly to St. Bonnie's. And then win over Canisius, Holy Cross, lost to San Diego. They got a win over UCLA this season, Hofstra does as well. Yet here against Princeton, 2.5-point dogs. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think where I really struggle here is that Hofstra's so good from the line. And I think when you have these games like this, they also shoot really well from beyond the 3-point line. I think this is a game where I could take Hofstra and take my 2.5 points, as funny as the line looks. I think that they have a better offense. The defenses are close. It's hard to tell with Princeton because they have been so bad. But when you look at the outside shooting and the free throws from Hofstra against that Princeton lousy defense, I got to take Hofstra here on the points. We'll go to our next game. Got the Senators up against Cashville. Rod, what are you thinking in this one?
Nashville's starting to look like the team that I figured they would be looking like this year. The last 10, Ottawa's 3-5-2. They are a little better at home. Nashville's 5-3-2 in the last 10. They've won 2 games in a row and looked pretty good doing it. Their last game out, they looked real good. Their offense is starting to click. For me, I'm going to take Nashville minus 1.5 here.
Nashville on the puck line. Chris?
Yeah, I'm completely on the other side here. I like Ottawa at plus 125. They've won 7 of their last 8 home games dating back to, this is going back to the end of October. And I mean, Nashville, I think there's going to be a bit of a letdown after pouring an 8 against a pretty good Islanders team. And I just think the Sens are worth a play at home here since that's where they play their best hockey.
Okay. We got 100 people watching. We've got 41 thumbs up. The math just not adding up over here. So if you guys could hit the thumbs up, greatly appreciated. It helps us a ton. So hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Let's see. There we go. Put this right there. Maybe that will help. Anyways, let's go to the next one. It is Chicago Blackhawks visiting the Winnipeg Jets. The Blackhawks looked like they were going to make a little bit of a mini run there, but they really kind of fizzled out. 3-6-1 in their last 10. Jets exactly opposite, 6-3-1. 20-12 overall in the season, but minus 170 in this one. Rod?
Yeah, and the Chicago has just fizzled right out again. They were looking pretty good there for a bit, like they might make a run of some sort. What's his Duncan Keith? I seen in an interview. He was really upset. It was his first game back off an injury in his last game, and in the interview he called out his whole team. He said, "We need to play more tougher. We need to have more grit. We're not playing like a good hockey team at all." So I'm going to give the Blackhawks a shot here. Blackhawks on the money line. I think after Duncan Keith, the veteran, comes out and calls his teammates out, says, "Hey, we got to play some hockey." I think Blackhawks come out here and steal one in Winnipeg.
How about you, Chris?
Yeah, I saw that too, and I'd be a little bit more comfortable backing them on a bit of a rest, but on no rest in Winnipeg, I got to take Winnipeg in regulation. Winnipeg's they won 6 straight against Chicago, including each of the last 4 in Winnipeg. I like Winnipeg in regulation minus 120.
How about the Flames and Canadians, Chris?
And I like Montreal here at plus 125. Calgary's strong at home, but they've been outscored 8-1 in their last 2 home games, and Montreal's won 4 of their last 5. They keep playing tough defense. And you know what? Montreal's won 4 of the last 5 in Calgary. I think Montreal's worth the shot here.
How about you, Rod?
Yeah, I love Montreal here in the spot. It'll be like it was in Vancouver. You're going to come into Calgary, and it's one of those. Montreal comes out west only once a year, and anybody who's a Habs fan piles into the saddle, though. So it'll be a sea of red, but you won't know who's what until somebody scores. I love Montreal here. I think Montreal comes into Calgary. I don't think Montreal sweeps this Western Road swing.
I like the Bucks against the Lakers. I'm going to lay the 4 points here. I think this is such a big game for the Bucks, both mentally and just, overall. This is the best team in the East record-wise versus the best team in the West record-wise. This is the big game. This is a potential NBA final preview. I just think that if the Bucks are going to be taken seriously as a contender after last year finishing with the best record in the Eastern Conference and not even making it to the finals, they got to win here. It's a must-win for the Bucks. If not, they're going to look vulnerable to everybody else in the Eastern Conference. The Lakers certainly haven't won them all, and neither have the Bucks. But when you look at the way that they've been playing, I actually think the Bucks are playing better basketball right now than the Lakers. And I've said, the Western Conference goes through Los Angeles, and I mean the Clippers or the Lakers. It goes through there. It could be our first Los Angeles versus Los Angeles Western Conference Finals, this year. But I do think that this game goes to the Bucks, and I think it is going to be as crazy a crowd as the Milwaukee crowd can get. I think last year, when we see, we've seen Milwaukee crowds where, Green Bay Packer linemen are, chugging beers in the crowd, and Aaron Rodgers is chugging beers and everything like that. I think this game has that type of potential. This is going to be that type of game where it's going to be craziness. and we're going to see the best basketball out of both teams. I don't expect to see any choking in this one from either side. I like the Bucks, though. I think they get it done. Avalanche and Hurricanes, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I considered Carolina, considering Colorado's on a back-to-back, but Colorado's pretty much lights out at home. Carolina has rest advantage, but they've had no luck in Colorado. They've lost 10 the last 12 at the Pepsi Center. I like Colorado minus 110.
Rod?
Yeah, I'm the same. The Avs are 8-1-1 their last 10, just rolling. My pick, I think, to come out of the West here this year so far early. The Canes have been playing good hockey, but I think the Avs get them here.
How about the Coyotes and the Wild? This is an interesting line here. Minus 165 going from 143 on Phoenix. So this is a big number and 76% on them. So that to me is the old world scenario. The world is on the Coyotes. What do you think?
Yeah, I personally like the under here. I mean, both teams have been profitable for us lately, but they've also both had issues stringing wins together consistently all season. But the one thing that is consistent, they both like to play a physical style. It tends to lend itself towards a lower scoring game. I see this one being 2-1 or 3-2.
For me, Coyotes are 5-4-1 the last 10. The Wild are 6-3-1 the last 10. Coyotes are 8-8 at home. Yeah, and we have to lay that number with them. No thanks. I'll take the Wild here. I think they come in and they can steal a win.
Who'd you take, Chris?
I took the under.
Under 5.5. All right, one more game. Vancouver and Vegas. This one's at Vancouver. Vegas still favored, Rod. Vegas kind of doing what they do. Just when they kind of have you lulled to sleep, throwing Subban in the net a bunch of times, all of a sudden they come out of it and they are quietly one of the hottest teams in the entire NHL. Not the hottest, but
second hot.
They're in the discussion. They're
in the top three.
Yes, in the discussion for sure.
Now they're 7-2-1 the last 10 games. Canucks are 4-6 the last 10 games. It's Vegas here. Vegas is going to come in, and I'm thinking Vegas minus 1.5. Vegas on the puck line. Yeah, even if Subban is that, he's been playing better lately.
Yeah, it's not. It's Fleury. I had to mention him. Chris?
I like Vegas in regulation, and I like Vegas on the puck line as well at plus 175. I mean, Vegas has owned Vancouver. Since Vegas came into the league, they've won 8 of 9 against the Canucks, including each of the 4 meetings in Vancouver. 6 of those 8 wins came by at least 2. So, like I said, I like Vegas regulation and puck line.
So we have a quorum, as they say. Guys, totally agree on that one. Got Colorado taking on Prairie View A&M, and it's one of those weird situations where you have a really, really good team against a really, really bad team. A slight bit of inverse line movement going in the favor of the good team, but the good team does not cover spreads, and they're laying 20 at home. I just have a problem with that. I'm going to have to take Prairie View A&M in this one. I don't know. I think when you have a Colorado versus Prairie View A&M and you do see some inverse line movement, I think it's because it doesn't take much to move the line when you're up in the 20s like they are now. And I also think that Prairie View A&M, Colorado, in the added games, that by added games I mean the ones with 6 digits in the rotation number, that leaves the door open for that sort of thing. I thought the other one that I also was looking at was the Southern Utah against Long Beach State game. Long Beach State always schedules up. They always schedule up, so their numbers always look bad. But Southern Utah is not a bad team. They have the win over Utah Valley, Santa Barbara, lost to Loyola Marymount, lost to East Tennessee State, who beat up on LSU last night, lost to LSU. So these are all forgivable losses. BYU by 5, win over Nebraska. Meanwhile, Long Beach State, they always schedule up. USC, loss. Pacific, this is where you got to be concerned. Loss. Penn, loss. Wake, loss. Providence, win. Arizona, St. Mary's, Stanford. So they've played everybody. Generally, Long Beach State is a team that plays really poorly out of conference, and then when they get in conference, they kind of mop the floor with everybody because they've played against stiffer competition. I think this is a spot where Long Beach State gets it done. I just think that the 3-8 record is so deceptive when it comes to the 49ers. This is a team that makes the NCAA tournament with losing record or 500 record when they make it. Generally, they have the talent to do it. I'm going to take Long Beach State here, and that's going to be my free pick. Chris, you got any college hoops for us or NBA?
Yeah, there were a few games I was looking at for today. I like Wofford plus 18 against Duke. I like William and Mary laying a point against St. Joseph's.
Oh, Duke.
I'm on Maryland minus 6.5 against Seton Hall. UTEP plus 12 against Houston.
Yeah, if you have picks on our YouTube channel, post them in the Facebook group so we could have discussion. We have discussion all day long. People giving out picks in the Facebook group. It's awesome. But here on the YouTube channel, you post them in these comments. We don't even show the comments like on the side when the video's sitting there. So it's like basically you're wasting your time. If you have picks, post them in the Facebook group. Be accountable. I show up, win, lose or draw. I show up every day. Some days it's easier than others. Today was pretty easy. Yesterday, some days not as easy. But
it works way better.
I see a lot of people doing that. What's the name to search on Facebook? Pick Dawgz. I mean, it's right on the screen. There's a link on our YouTube channel. if you're on YouTube, there's a link and it says Facebook, right? And you click on the link and it'll take you to our Facebook group. This is not. I try and make it as easy as possible. If there's easier ways to do it, just help me out and say, man, it would be way easier if you did this. So, not trying to be a hater or whatever. I'm asking for your help.
It's amazing what technology does these days.
Yeah, it's like I'm just trying to figure it out. It's like when people ask me questions like that, it's always like, what can I do to make it easier? Because I've tried to do this and I've failed. I mean, if you're asking that question, I have failed in my attempts. So if you tell me what I could do to make that, what I could have done to make that more obvious or easy, then I'm going to do it. I'm not asking it to be in a condescending way or anything like that. I'm asking it so I can do it and implement it on my site. This is how 90% of all the things that I've ever done on the internet at any of my websites have been done by someone suggesting it. I don't do everything that people suggest, but the ones, something like this, if it's going to get more people to our Facebook group and have people post their picks and get more interaction and put us on more winners, I'm going to do whatever it takes. Anyways, Chris, hoops.
Okay, let's start from the top again. Wofford plus 18 against Duke. William Mary minus 1 against St. Joseph's. Maryland minus 6.5 against Seton Hall. UTEP plus 12 against Houston. NC State plus 7.5 against. In the NBA, I like Brooklyn plus 3 against San Antonio.
So I only got from UTEP beyond. What were the first ones?
Wofford plus 18, William and Mary minus 1, and Maryland minus 6.5.
Yeah, I got Maryland. How about you, Rod? Any hoops?
Yeah, I call it. I pick. I like Seton Hall. I took Seton Hall plus 6.5.
It's an interesting game because Maryland was so bad at Penn State.
So I also took Hofstra. I like Hofstra today. I took them on the money line
over Princeton.
Yeah,
it's okay.
And I also like William and Mary. I actually parlayed those up. I took Hofstra on the money line, Seton Hall plus 6.5, William and Mary -1.
Is that a play on William and Mary, or is it a play against St. Joe's?
Little both.
All right.
St. Joe's, what, 1-4 the last 5? ATS?
Got a parlay for us, Chris?
How much space do you have in your sheet? Because I have 3 different ones.
All right.
The three-way parlay, 3-team. I'm going to go Flyers, Vegas, and Jets at plus 670. Puck line parlay, I'm going to do 2 teams. I'm going to do Vegas and the Flyers at plus 628. And I got an underdog parlay money line. Canadians, Kings, Senators, and Stars at plus 2694.
How about you, Rod?
Just one.
Okay.
Usual. Three-way. Nashville, Flyers, Vegas. Plus 838. And I made 2 plays on the NBA. I'm opposite of you again. I took the Lakers +4. And I took the Clippers -5.
Nashville, Flyers, Vegas?
Yeah, Nashville, Flyers, Vegas.
Okay. All right, let's go through it. Chris likes Philly on the puck line. Rod likes Buffalo. Chris likes the Kings. Rod likes Columbus. So we have no consensuses going on here. Bruins for Chris in regulation. Islanders and under for Rod. Dallas for Chris. Tampa Bay, Dallas over for Rod. And he also leaned to Dallas. He likes Chris likes Ottawa. Who's Ottawa playing?
I like Nashville.
Yeah,
Nashville.
Ottawa and Nashville. Chris likes the Jets. Rod likes the Hawks. They both like Montreal, the Avs. Chris likes the under in the Wild game. That's against Tampa Bay. Rod likes the Wild. Huge value there. Both like Vegas. Chris likes UTEP, Maryland, NC State, Wofford, and William & Mary in hoops, and the Brooklyn Nets. Rod likes Seton Hall, Hofstra, William & Mary. 3-team parlay for Rod. Nashville, Flyers, and Vegas. Chris likes Flyers, Vegas, and the Jets. So very similar parlays there. You could probably add, mix and match, right? Maybe do a round robin 4-teamer with those, right? Because or you could do a round robin 4-teamer, but basically just do the round robin on the 3 and 4-teamers, because the Vegas Flyers is that's the key. So it'd be a cheap round robin there. A little bit of strategy. Puck line on Vegas and the Flyers for Chris as well. I wonder if you could round robin those in too. That would be big. Some books probably won't let you do that. And then Chris has an underdog parlay, which is, those are always a reach, but when they pay, they pay. Montreal, the Kings, Senators, and the Stars. I have Northern Arizona, the over 145.5 in the Duke Wofford game, which was seriously unpopular enough that I had to block somebody from the show from bashing me on my pick. Hofstra, which they could have easily done in the Facebook group. Hofstra, Bucks, Prairie View A&M, and Long Beach State are my other picks. That's it. I'll be back at 4 o'clock Eastern Time with Steve Monahan talking NFL preview of all the NFL games. I haven't done any NFL videos yet this week, so I'll see you guys then. Have a great day. Thanks a lot, guys, for joining me, and I'll see everyone in a few hours. And, of course, I'm here every morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. on the weekends. Can't wait till we get back to that daylight savings time where it's just 11 o'clock. Makes it nice and easy. Have a great day, everyone. That was a great show.